Morning all, Nick here, start of day 9, and yes, the tent did survive the night. In fact, it survived better than I did. I had a really restless night because of the storm going on around me.
It's about 2 AM and the wind just hasn't stopped all night.
There was a slight hiccup when I woke this morning. There was a drip on my head, so just above where I'm breathing, condensation had formed. And the temptation, of course, is in such a storm to close up all the vents and everything. And I hadn't closed everything completely. I've left small gaps, and there are some gaps just above my head here, for example, that you can't close up. But as it's just above my head, it looks like condensation.
Okay, slight change of plan. There was a break in the weather and I decided to press on. Nice campsite, good facilities. Just wanted to have a look at the view that I would have seen from the tent if it hadn't been raining so much. So here we are in the View Estate Cafe and Gift Shop. Let's see if they've got any food. Or indeed it's even open. Well, that was Pool House. It was Churchill's base during the Second World War, where they managed the Arctic convoy getting supplies out to Russia, because apparently U-Lock was the deepest, or the only one deep enough for certain of the vessels. Anyway, they do a nice coffee, good selection of cakes, and some nice rolls. So that was me, breakfast and lunch all in one. On to Inverness. Blue skies, a rare sight the last couple of days. Much appreciated though. Apparently tonight is going to be worse than last night. And last night I did not sleep well. The buffeting going on of the tent stood up very, very well. Really impressed with that tent. But I have no mobile signal here. I think I'm with EE via Smarty. Means that I can't check anything, but I'm pretty sure by the time I get to Inverness, which is the end of the NC500, I'll get my signal back. And then even when you don't see the coastline, it's been the North Coast 500, you're running along the side of rivers, through woodlands, mountain passes. Gorgeous. There's a different word, I haven't used that for a while. rather new surface on this piece of road on the A832. Oh, didn't ask too long. Welcome folks, it's Nick here. I'm on my UK mini tour 2022 with a rough theme of castles, coastlines and camping. Well, how about this then? So lovely with the blue sky and sunshine, shadow being cast on that one. Just noticed that my reserve height is on, and has been on for, well, 10 miles now. And it's used half a litre. I'm not sure how much is in reserve, but I'm sure there must be about 4 litres. Hopefully it'll be somewhere within the next, let's say, 30 miles. There it is, look at that view. Fabulous. Wow. And the sun's shining as well. Pass, fabulous. There's been some right interesting bends. These big beasties then. A Wookiee with horns. This is Applecross. Just filled up with petrol. And it took just over 14, I think it was 14.25 litres. Which means I think there's 3 litres left in the tank. I think it's a 17 point something litre tank, and I'd done 250 miles since I last filled up. and it's saying about 17 litres or 17 miles per litre. So I think probably at a pinch you might be able to get 300 miles out of a tank, but that'd be at a pinch and travelling not too fast, because for the last few miles I just wasn't sure how much I used or whatever. I was just cruising along really. Just travelling along after Applecross. It's quite a climb, this pass. Also passing bays though, which is just as well. You can see it winding away up the top. You might be able to see a couple of cars going by. I may have mentioned previously, but this is a type of passing bay. You've got to be careful not to put your foot down the dip whilst you're waiting for something to pass. Interesting series of bends coming up according to the sat nav. Ooh, look at that. Oh, look at the view below. Oh, you look at the view. Oh, there's a big van coming. I've spoilt my line somewhat. The way this road goes. Amazing. This is a passing bay. And more unexpected scenery. I don't know what I was expecting in Scotland, but I wasn't expecting this. Fabulous. Had a really nice lunch, early dinner, whatever it might be, at the waterside cafe in the little town. I'll need to put up what the little town was. But I had a butternut squash soup, which was really good, with 2 massive great chunks of bread. And then, just in case I didn't have enough bread, 2 huge sandwiches, or 2 slices of very thick bread, constituting a sandwich, I guess, and a latte. It was very filling indeed. I checked the weather report for Inverness, and come 1 AM it's going to be fairly horrendous. There's a yellow warning for wind this time, and although I'm very confident now in the tent, I just didn't fancy another night of potential worrying about it. Plus, I've got some damp bits and pieces in the camping bag, the dry bag. I'm not sure if I mentioned, I didn't close it properly and it got exposed to the rain. It being a dry bag, it also holds water very nicely, so there's a little puddle in the bottom of it, making everything there a little bit damp. It's only tools and things like that, but it's just emanating dampness. So I could do with just giving it all a little bit of an airing. So I had a look for B&Bs, and I've got a hotel a little bit west of Inverness on the route for £42, but it is not with breakfast. Even so, that's not bad. I've been paying £18.50 for camping, and this one does have Wi-Fi. So that's the plan, just heading towards Inverness. It's just a couple of miles, I think, west of Bunch Crew, was it? The campsite I stayed at the night before I set off on the NC500. So it's really will have done the loop anyway. We're back on the A832 now, which is a fairly good progress road, shall we say. Just looking at the rolling landscape, that river making its way around. Moy Bridge. This is part of the NC500. In fact, most of the road, just about all the roads we've been on have been part of the NC500. It's quite surprising the type of vehicles that people circumnavigate it, this word. So the Ord Arms Hotel should be up here. Spa, need to pop into, get some essentials. Is it? Oh, it looks a bit empty. It's spooky, empty. Is this where I'm staying? No cars here. Oh, very odd. Oh. Let's go and check it out anyway.